experience. Get ready. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Let's get hype.
Chit. What's going on, Cowboys Nation? Welcome to another episode of the Late Night Hype. Big Game James, Law Nation, Skywalker Steel, two guests in the building. Boss Cowboy and former Dallas Cowboy cornerback Tyler Patmon. Are y'all ready? Let's go. What's up, young Lion-Hearted? I love that name, dog.
Yeah,
I
man,
really do.
Man.
Lion-Hearted. Before we go anywhere, where'd that come from?
Man, honestly, I'll tell you the truth. So, in college, I forgot what album it was. It might have been the warm-up. But y'all know who J. Cole is, right?
Oh, yeah.
And he had this line. It was like, little blank, right? But I'm lion-hearted.
Yeah.
And that just stuck with me.
Yeah.
Because I always had like that. I'm not that big of a guy, but I just felt like I was, a lion. Like, ain't nobody gonna stop me. You can tell me what you want. I'm gonna keep going. It don't matter. So that kind of just, man, it stuck with me for the long run.
For all the fellow little people out there, I feel you.
All right.
Yeah. Slim fit.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Go, Tyler.
Slim fit.
What's up, Law Nation, Boss Cowboy, Big Game James? How you doing?
Oh man, just hanging in here so easy. Now I did want to piggyback a quick question on your background because Tyler, we know you, but we also follow the Cowboys very heavily. You have new fans. I wanted to kind of, people might not know, but you had a very humbling road to even make the roster. I want you to give your background a little bit of just making the team with America's team.
Oh man, it goes way back before that, but keep it short, man. Came out of the Oklahoma State my last year, transfer guy over there, and went undrafted. The crazy thing is, man, after the draft, I got a call from the Cowboys, and they were like, man, we're thinking about bringing you in on an undrafted free agent contract. Got a call from the Dolphins. They were saying, hey, yeah, we can't get you a contract, but we'll bring you in on a tryout. And, my agent was kind of talking to them. He called back with the Cowboys, like, hey, let's just, take it and run with it. They were like, man, we just filled the position with somebody else. And so, but they were like, man, we feel free to come in on a tryout, And so, man, we lined up two tryouts, back-to-back weeks. I went to Dallas on a 3-day tryout. Man, it was the toughest 3 days in my career. I'm talking about, it was probably 6 of us. On the last day, it was just me and I know you probably guys know who Terrence Mitchell is.
Yes.
We were the last 2. And we took all the reps on Sunday. And man, the next day I was full body sore. I've never been that sore in my life. And I just killed it, and so 2 days later they called me back, said they wanted to bring me in. And after that, man, it's just the undrafted grind, and I had to make it shake in preseason. So crazy.
Because a lot of people don't know, but you had the most interceptions out of everybody in preseason that year.
Yeah, I was trying to get it, man. I was trying to make.
Trying to get is an understatement.
Right.
That's kind of like Donovan Wilson. Like, and we say here a lot: if you win the crowd, you win your freedom.
Right.
And that's when the crowd co-signs you. And you put it out there. You put on the show. So,
yeah, man, it was a grind. Like I said, man. Luckily, I had a great coach, Jerome Henderson. He really spoke life into me.
I remember.
Man, he just he kind of made sure that he knew, to make sure he fed into me mentally what type of player I was. And man, when I had that behind me, bro, I just kept going. And like you said, being an undrafted guy, the fans gonna love you if you're balling, right?
Yeah.
They want to know who you are. They want to know what's going on. And when I made those plays, man, they backed me for sure.
Yeah. And they looked at it, like the Cowboys organization even cut, I believe, B.W. Webb for you to get onto that roster there. So that was deep for you to make it undrafted.
Right.
To overcome a guy that was drafted in the 4th round. So that shows a lot of things about this. upcoming season for the 2021 is that these young DBs or people that's out here from last year continue to fight. That's why I tell everybody, man, everybody got a puncher's chance, but you got to continue to fight and grind. And you did that.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it.
Okay, well, we're doing all the great congratulations.
Yeah, yeah, we gonna start nice. That's how we set you up.
Okay, I'm done with all that. Big Game James comes off the top turnbuckle. Okay, you know what I'm saying? I don't do that stuff, y'all. We don't nice stuff. You feel me? You know what I'm saying, Tyler? You was a dog over there, 2014. I was excited when you came on the team. You know what I'm saying? You came in scrappy. Everybody was hitting me up. I'm gonna just keep it real, Tyler. Everybody was hitting me up like, "Oh, you got Tyler Patmon on there? Then you need to ask him about that Dez. You need to ask him about this." Like, I don't care. You better ask me about this. So, you know, if you don't want to talk about it, that's fine, but we need to ask you and Dez. I mean,
man.
So let me tell you this real quick. Whenever I'm dealing with kids, like I told you, I work with a lot of kids.
Right.
That's the first thing they talk about. Every time they want to know.
Probably Google you. See
You know, that's gonna be the first video because Dez, you know, he got a big name, so that's the first video I'm connected with. Man, it was just one of those training camp days. You know, I was in my bag, I was strapping,
right,
1-on-1s, team 7-on-7. So we get to the last, it's like a 2-minute drill. And so we going, he happens to be on my side 2 times in a row. You know, the first time Dez he likes to talk. That's the type of person he is. He's fiery, you know, and I'm the same way. So I wasn't gonna back down. And we got into it, man, and you know, it just escalated. One of those hot training camp days, and you know, but that's my brother, man. He's a very humble dude, man, a great guy. And you know, after practice, we squashed it, man. It wasn't nothing but a little brotherly fight.
Trash talk. I think he loves that. He invites that.
Who didn't get in a fight with Dez?
See, he's too nice. You too humble, man. Listen, go say how it is, because I played corn. I know how it is. When the receiver fight you was winning. That's what I'm saying. I was winning. I was winning the reps.
Yeah.
Because that's how it go. I know how it go, man. Right. I'm telling you, when you winning those reps, the receivers want to fight. They so calm when they winning. They'll just throw the ball at you like,
yeah.
Were you there?
But he was one of them dudes that was gonna be fired regardless. If he was losing reps, if he was winning reps,
he just on attack.
Were you there when he went, "You can't guard me, you can't guard me, you can't guard me"?
No. I wasn't there.
Okay, you probably would have said something.
He had to say that.
You'd have been like, "You ain't talking about me,
You speaking that corner talk. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, it wasn't
talking about them, but you ain't talking about me.
That's that corner talk. That's what I'm right.
You were sticky. You were a very sticky cornerback when you were here.
Yeah,
I think you might have been. I mean, since you left, I don't know if we had a cornerback as fast as you. What was your 40 time?
I was a high 4.4 guy, 4.49.
Yeah, you played. I thought you played faster than that. I thought you might have said 4.3.
Yeah, you definitely. I bet your shuttle was good. Cause
my quickness is that's what I was blessed
your
with.
change of direction was good.
Yes, sir.
I think the timing is also perfect. We spoke about this before we actually went live. And we just had a promotion, Harold Nash, to the strength and conditioning coordinator. And one of the things that, you know, I was looking in your background, and one of the interviews came up about Ronnie Braxton, Real Truth, who is also your trainer. So, you know, Lizzie Cash with DallasCowboys.com. And they talked about that the prep of working with him with your work ethic was a lot that had to do with your success. Can you talk about that a little bit? Because I want to ask you a couple of more follow-up questions on that.
For sure. Man, first of all, let me start by saying that just how we were talking about Dez and how he's that type of guy. He's fiery. I'm fiery. Ronnie's the same way, right? And there's not a lot of trainers out there that's like that.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of trainers out there that's gonna push you when you truly need to be pushed. You know what I'm saying? Because you know you get into the league, you get into the NFL, and you get that ego, right? And so trainers kind of they gonna coach you, but they trying to make that money still. You know what I mean? But Real's not like that. He gonna keep it 100 with you. He gonna talk to you, right, in a way that you don't want to be talked to in, right? And he's gonna challenge you in a sense of I know you guys probably heard it, but it's a thing they say in strength and conditioning that if you continue to do the same workout over and over and over again, you kind of hit a ceiling. Like your body kind of gets used to it. This dude is so special in coming up with different exercises, lifts, football drills that are so different that you like, bro, like how you even come up with this? But at the same time, it still correlates to the field. And that's what was special about him, man. He just always bringing something new to you to help you continue to grow as a player.
Yeah, because this is something that I honestly feel from the bottom of my heart. I feel like strength and conditioning coaches are sometimes most of the undervalued people in the whole building.
Oh yeah.
Like and people don't know why Marcus, when he passed, it was so many players that was hurt, because they also spend the most intimate time with you. Like most, until you kind of get into organizations and organized football, like at least college up, you don't see that. So like I want to ask you, just be Jerry Jones. What would you, and just be creative if you want to be, you have no cap on this. What would you pay for somebody like a real troop?
Ask Jerry Jones.
You, Jerry.
And I'm hiring a strength coach.
Yes.
Man, I'm thinking 7 figures. It's that important, like you said. And sometimes I think they're undervalued. It's
7 figures.
7. Yeah. Right? Because now you're talking about protecting my investment during a 16-week season. You know what I mean? So, you know, that's everything.
Right.
You know what I mean? If I want Ezekiel Elliott to be healthy during the season,
oh my God,
my strength coach got to come with it.
Right.
He got to know what he's doing, along with the trainers and his massage person and chiropractor and all that. But bro, they got to know what lifts we need to be doing, how many reps, how many sets, the percentage of the weight, you know what I mean? Because, I mean, you see it all the time where, you know, there might be a team where all of a sudden all these players are having hamstring issues or knee problems, right? That has to do with the strength and condition, along with the practice reps and all that together.
You said that, boss.
It's a big deal, man. I think people don't really realize it sometimes.
That's why I say it's the most, because I looked at his background and I didn't mean to ask another question. Did y'all want to say something about that real quick?
Well, no, but I just have to add to this right quick. You touching on some good points, and I think that the Cowboys schedule is always weird around Thanksgiving time because we have those multiple games back to back, and it's a short area, and I think it's like three games, less than 14, sometimes less than 17 days or so. So that strength and conditioning coach is very valuable for the Dallas Cowboys.
Exponential.
And yes, I will, like you said, that have to be 7 figures.
7 figures. Because I looked at Ronnie's background, because obviously researching you for the show, I was researching everything about you, made me research him also. And in 2013, 11 of his 11 players that was on his off-season program played the entire season. 2014, that's you. 13 out of those 13 played the entire season. All of his undrafted free agents made rosters. 2015, 13 out of 13 guys played the entire season. 2016, 16 out of his 16 professional athletes played the entire season. 2017, 18 out of his 19 professional offseason. That is a way better record than Dallas ever had.
Yeah, man, that's impressive. I never even looked at it like that, see what like his numbers was, but like I said, man, he just challenges your body in so many ways that when you get to training camp, you're ready. You know what I'm saying? They know I got a little nick here, I got a hamstring. Nah, you're gonna be ready. So his summer program is the real truth, right? Like, you know, like he says. So
is it true that y'all had like 13 different facilities that y'all trained in?
Yeah, that's just one of his. I don't want to put his information out.
Yeah, that's
like
true.
that.
Okay, that's right.
You
okay,
know,
because I researched it. Let me time out. You right. Competitive intelligence, my fault.
Yeah. But no, he's very, very intelligent with what he does and how he does it. It's different, you know. And if you're not open minded to it, then when you get there, you won't you won't stay there. But it's very great for athletes, especially NFL, of course, veteran and younger guys to be challenged in that way.
Go ahead, guys. Sorry.
Oh, okay. Because I mean, I feel all that, but I want to ask about are you okay? So you said you're coaching high school football right now. Just said your first year, Tyler, right?
Right.
Are you still following the game right now? You're 29. Are you still
Man.
following follow the Cowboys? Do you follow the Cowboys?
I follow them a little bit.
Uh-huh.
You know, I'm always peeking around and looking to see what's going on, and definitely watching the guys that I know, like me and Jordan Lewis. He used to work out with Ronnie Thumb, and you know, that's one of the young guys that I was around. Man, love his game.
Me too.
Love his game.
Well, good. Let's talk about
Man.
Go ahead.
Can I ask you a few questions about these guys?
Sure.
All right, I'm gonna ask quick questions. All right, so here's my question. Okay, because I met Jordan a couple times. I like Jordan, but I don't know if he's gonna come back. So you got Jordan. We had Barry on here last week, and Barry said, "Throw the grenade, blow all this up, and start all over."
He said that too. He said,
"Throw the grenade, blow it all up." So you're a cornerback, you know. You got Jordan on the team. You got Xavier Woods. I know he's a safety. And then you got Cheeto. Okay. Now we know about Trevin Diggs, and I think he's nice. But what's your kind of feelings about the cornerbacks that they have there right now? Do you see any of them coming back? And maybe, you know, what's this kind of your thoughts about the situation there with the cornerbacks, kind of in your opinion, just looking from afar?
One thing that I admire about the Cowboys, when they draft a guy, they're going to try to stick with him, especially if he's a young guy. Now, I believe that there's only so many chances that you get, right? And that's coming from an undrafted guy, because y'all know my chances was even further down. You know what I mean? But I believe that there's nothing wrong with keeping those young guys, but I feel like they need a veteran corner to come in.
We've been talking about.
That's a dog, right? And to kind of lead the way. Because if you look at it, when's the last top veteran that they had in that secondary to kind of lead them?
Tyler, I'm glad you
go into that detail.
Hold on, I'm glad he said top veteran, because here's the thing.
Yeah,
you could bring in Nolan Carroll, you could bring in salute to Darryl Worley, right? Like he was a good guy, but that don't mean you gotta be. I mean, you gotta be good. You gotta have some clout or something on your resume that stated I've been consistently good in this league for a while, so I can come in here and tell a young Tyler Patmon, hey, this is how you do it because I've been successful doing it this way.
Yes.
Not a 1-year rental that's been in the league for 8 years, but he's been a 5th, 6th corner and a special teams guy.
Right.
Like Dallas needs, in my opinion, that's what they need to do. Bring in somebody back there, be it corner or safety. Somebody back there, veteran-wise, to get in that room and help them out.
Yes, sir.
Just like you just said,
indeed. And you got a chance to play with, I guess he was on your last year with the Dallas Cowboys, Byron Jones when he was down there.
Yes.
Did you see that he was going to become the cornerback that he was?
Tell the truth.
Don't be on his line. Don't be on his line.
You a coach now. You're not playing.
Coaching now. Yeah.
All right. So this is the thing about Byron. Okay. I didn't think he was going to be a corner. I thought he was like he made the transition to safety, and I thought he was going to stay at safety. But the thing about Byron, as you probably can tell, he's such a hard worker. And he pays attention to the details. And I think that's what he did when he went back to corner, right? He got a few seasons under his belt. Yeah. Right. He kind of grew in the game. And then he started playing a little smarter, right? He got those long arms. I started to see him be patient and stay square at the line, and he kind of took his game to another level. But yeah, man, when he first came in, I was like, I'm already there. So I'm like, man, this dude ain't messing with me. It's kind of on that.
Okay, go ahead. No, sorry.
But you can tell he was going to last long in the league just because of how hard and how focused and attention to details he had, man. So I'm glad he panned out, man. It's a great thing to see how he's playing right now.
So if you were Jerry Jones, you would have kept him. You would have kept him on the team. You'd have still drafted Diggs or what have you, and it would have been just that would have been what you needed.
You keep on saying if it ain't happening, so why you talking?
I know. So
it's over.
It's over. Hey, do you get a chance to look at any of the guys in the college right now, like the Surtains of the world?
I haven't been real deep into college.
What about your boy from Oklahoma State?
Who's that? What's his name?
Got drafted last year. Was it Terrell? What's the cat that came out of Oklahoma State?
You talking about AJ Brown?
Yeah, that's who it was. A young cat. I don't even know if he got drafted. Now I think about it.
See, I ain't even been able to watch his tape for real like that. I'm lucky, man. I get to
Terrell's Clemson.
I got a little access to steal some NFL film, so I'm able to watch it a little bit, man. And sometimes I get on there and watch some of those young corners and check them out, see what they're doing, and it's I love it. You know, I'm kind of biased because I'm a 5'11" on a good day.
On a good day, when you feel good, I feel you. I'm right there with you.
Little corners, man. Little corners.
But the game, the game is kind of moving to that big corner, right? So
it don't even matter though.
But the 5'11" corners, I've heard plenty of scouts, Tyler. The 5'11" corners, they said they rather have those type of players because they can get up underneath those receivers. They have quicker hips. They have better recognition. They're better type players. It's just the fad of everybody going
it's
6
the fad, bro.
Oh no, James. What about this Dan Quinn system? This cover one. Hey, you gonna do the cover 3?
No, I don't care. You get a 5'11".
You a baller.
Tyler, how you gonna play this defense right here?
I don't care.
How would you play this defense that Dan Quinn is gonna incorporate?
What's he bringing in?
He's gonna bring in that cover 1.
It's gonna be the normal stuff, the corners, the universal stuff.
I mean, like it gotta
cover 3.
It gotta be ballers. Like you just gotta be able to get out there, have that confidence, and be on that island, right? It's different on that island. Like you can't. I mean, big corners is great. You know, I feel like they gonna make a play every now and then.
Yeah.
But no, it's crazy because you see the transition, man, of like big corners being able to have good feet. Like I played with Jalen Ramsey, and he's one of them dudes that
big but
total
small
package.
feet. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You see him coming out a 45-degree break, and you like, okay.
Yeah.
Like,
when you see it on the big man, it is weird. It's like
it's crazy, man. And this is how it is because you see a kid like DK Metcalf, and front office is automatically thinking, oh, we got to go get somebody big. We need a 6'1" corner just to play with him, but. If you already know, I believe if you're a baller, you're gonna baller. You're gonna find a way. Period.
Hey, how tall was Darrell Reeves?
That's what I was just about to say.
5'11", right?
5'11" was an animal.
Was a dog.
But you know what? I feel like also if you study the game as well as your physical attributes, just like you said with Byron, you look at the little things. You got to study that tape. You got to watch the film of your opponents. Right. That's how you always going to get better. But I want to say one thing that you said, Tyler, bouncing off what the other guy said. I feel like the reason why we are lacking still, and I just feel like maybe this might be what it is. We don't get them dogs in free agency because this is what I think. This is what Sky said. If a Nolan Carroll comes into the DB room and I'm a DB, I'm looking at Nolan Carroll. I don't give a hell. I'm looking at Nolan Carroll like you ain't better than me. So why the hell I'm listening to you?
All right.
You're not an upgrade to me.
Right.
If you come in with a dog, though, I'm like, okay, he been there and done it. I'm gonna sit there and watch. Just because you a dog over there, don't mean I'm gonna look at you a dog over here.
Right.
I'm gonna watch how you practice and that. But you'll have an automatic a look of a different respect if you have a guy that's a dog come in. You're gonna be looking at him different. And then if you see what he's bringing to the table, what he brought over there to here, I feel like you follow more and it brings up everybody maybe in the DB room, in my opinion. But I feel like we keep on getting these bargain guys that when you already got, I'm drafted and you bringing a bargain guy in, you're not better than me. So why I'm looking at you like you supposed to be telling me something? I mean, is that real, Tyler, or not?
That's 100% real, right? You supposed to have that mindset anyway as a corner, right? I'm a dog, like you gotta have it. It ain't no ifs, ands, or buts about it. If you ain't got that mentality, you're gonna get toasted. Yes. So man, when you bring, like you said, you bring a guy that's kind of so and man, they didn't pay this dude $1.1 million to come and take my spot, and you kind of just hand it to him. Like dudes that feel truly disrespected. You know what I mean? And so like it's different when you bring in a Pat P and a Revis or whoever, then you like, okay,
So hold on. You said hand it to him. See, because people don't believe that there are politics in professional football.
Oh yeah.
That's what changes the game in the league. It's not the football you played in high school or even college. It's It's a business for real, right? And so if a dude is getting paid that money, he gonna get way more looks than you, and you gonna have to do everything right, and he gonna have to do a lot of wrong for you to get that spot. So it's a crazy business for real.
Oh,
Yeah, I mean, it's like anything else. I mean, we all play sports. We've seen it. We've seen it in high school when we play. We've seen coaches show favoritism, and then we've seen no matter what you do. We've seen where parents had money in the boosters in high school, and they were the who's who. No matter what you did, you weren't playing. And he had to break his damn ankle for you to get some time. And boy, you better play like a monster when you in. Because if he catches one touchdown on your head, bye.
Yeah,
sit down.
For real. For real. Right. And that, you just gotta imagine that favoritism with 20 million behind them.
Yeah.
You know, it's different.
You have no chance.
Right.
Well, what it is they're gonna give that person a million chances to screw up.
And
they don't want to look wrong.
And that's the bad thing, man. They that happens to some young guys, and they never get a chance to really develop in the game.
Yeah.
You know, and they don't get a chance to develop, and then their mental is messed up. Like, oh, I can't make a mistake. Now you tense and you trying to play perfect, and it's just disaster.
Dallas is
see y'all listening to a player now. I just want everybody to know y'all listen. He's go ahead though. I'm sorry.
I was just in Dallas has that issue before. We gave up on a cat like that. Ward.
We did Jordan Lewis like that.
Oh, Jordan Lewis still playing. He gets a lot of time.
But he didn't get enough. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
You don't think he got enough?
No. Anthony Brown took his rep.
Now he has.
Yeah, and you know what? We'll talk about this one time.
That's an offer. Yeah, that's
one time ago because I
another
disagree
debate.
completely with that. He get it. I
We'll
got
talk about that.
I'm talking about guys like Ward and Terrence Mitchell. These guys never really got a solid chance of footing in Dallas. And look, they went to, Mitchell been around the league and has played well, and Ward's been with the Chiefs and he's played well. So we see that too often here in Dallas.
Yeah, and the thing about Mitchell, we came in together. And I don't know if a lot of people know that he came in young. Like he skipped a year, or he skipped the senior year and declared. And there was a guy at Oregon that was supposed to do that, and he didn't. I forgot what his name was, but he was a big time. And Terrence did it instead. And bro, he was just so raw. He was so raw. And it was just like one of those dilemmas, man. It was me, him, BW, who else? Then we had Scandrick, B. Carr, Claiborne, and Sterling Moore.
Oh, Corey White just got transferred.
Yeah, Sterling Moore was still there.
DB room was thick.
And Corey White was nice.
And so y'all had a special teams guy. So I mean, you talking, and Sterling Moore played great his last year there.
But that's the other one, Sterling Moore. Yeah.
So I mean, it was a room full of guys that didn't have a lot of recognition, but
y'all was underrated. See, and you know what people don't bring up about y'all? The lack of pass rush y'all had for years. See, people don't understand.
He said no comment. He said, man, as a DB, I can't hold him for 7 seconds.
I can't hold
me to do.
Too much, man.
Nah, and y'all know the Marinelli system is just like the one y'all talking about to come in. It's cover 1, cover 3. I mean, it's basic.
Gotta get home.
And our cover 3 is if he goes vertical,
that's it.
That's you.
That's you.
Right. So, man, it was tough. I think my second year, I think D. Lawrence had got hurt.
Yeah, that's what it was.
And then I forgot. I forgot who else we had. Like we were struggling.
I was banged up, and the guys that came along, they came along after you was gone.
Right.
So and it take about 3 years for most defensive linemen to develop, but that's why y'all was underrated.
Yeah.
When they offer you that contract, why you didn't take it? It said that you refused it and you went off to Miami land.
No, man. What happened was it was just one of those years. We was losing. We got to the second to last game, and they actually released me. And they were like, "We're gonna put you on our practice squad." And so, it was a lot of things that I did as a man, like the way I handled it. I was like, "Man, I'm not coming back." And I didn't look at it from a business perspective. I probably should have stayed looking back at it just because they knew me as a player. And being undrafted, trying to go somewhere else is tough.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And
because they don't have the familiarity with you.
Right. And I made a bonehead decision. I went to Miami to a place where there was an interim head coach. So after that year, they left. And a whole new staff came in.
Yeah.
And so that's what happened. They tried to bring me back on practice squad. And I was just kind of in my head, ego, like, man, I'm not. I felt disrespected. I felt very disrespected. And, you know, I just didn't like the way they handled the situation. And, you know, I felt like I needed to get out of there at that moment. So.
I'm glad we're hearing emotions, because we all
this is real, boy.
People that players don't have them. People treat y'all like Madden players.
Yeah, this interview amazing.
And it's just the thing, man. When you feel like you don't deserve to be released and you get released, you gonna feel a type of way. You know what I'm saying? And if I was older, I probably would have looked at it in a different light. Like I would have really broke it down what I'm looking at. But in that time, I'm like, man, this is BS. I don't feel like I deserve this. I need to get out of here. And I felt like I wasn't valued. So, but it was a lot that went into it, man. I know that, and it helped me grow so much as just a young man, bro, and just handling situations, business wise and relationship wise. So. It was cool. It was all right. I learned a lot, man.
Because I know you're looking at 2016 team. They're like, man, they winning now.
Yeah.
No, hey, Tyler, don't worry. We still choked it. Don't worry about it.
We would have been better with you, though, really.
Yeah, we would have been
better with you. Like, really.
Straight up.
Yeah, but, you know,
I think that actually would have turned us the corner. Yeah, because he would have been over Anthony Brown.
Got injured in 2016.
Yep, and Anthony Brown was out there.
See?
That was his rookie year?
His rookie year was actually good.
Yeah.
I think his best year of his career.
Yeah.
That was who was it? It was him.
Byron.
Tio.
Byron.
No. It was Byron.
Safety,
yeah, Byron's at safety. It was Carr.
Mo. Okay, Carr was still there.
Church. And then Heath was subbing with Wilcox.
Right.
That's the 2016 secondary.
That's right. And Heath ended up starting, right?
Yeah, no, he was rotating.
Coming off the bench.
He was rotating in Church.
That's when he was better.
Church was the man.
Yeah.
You in Church, I mean, y'all was solid. Like,
I love Church game, man.
Yeah, Church game was like,
bro, when he used to come up, when he used to tackle somebody and come up holding their foot, I'm like, how you do that?
That boy tackling game was
that's why all the damn tackles.
Man, I'm talking about.
I mean, he came
like the mail. He delivered.
Years, like when he was not getting work in his first full year as a starter, he had like 138 tackles.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It was ridiculous.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But hey, I'm gonna tell you right now, dog. I respect. You know what I mean? Because I feel like, and I ain't even trying to say, but I always felt like I've been an underdog type player or a person in my life. So when I get underdog people that come on the rosters and fought and just listen when you say, man, I felt disrespected, man, bump all that. You was just saying, I probably did the same thing. I'd probably be sitting just like you, like, older. I was just thinking about it. I probably shouldn't have did that, but when I was younger, F y'all, you ain't gonna disrespect me like that.
Right.
I feel you. I just love how you came with the realness, because we love hearing that on here, but we don't sometimes we don't get to hear the contracts and how the players feel about
how they feel.
We want to hear how they feel, and we really appreciate you coming on and saying that, because people think these players are robots. People think players don't have emotions. People think just because they make all this money that they ain't normal people. Yes, they have normal emotions just like me and you, and like a job. If we feel disrespected on pay, so do y'all. So I'm glad you brought that realness, man.
Oh yeah,
super real.
So,
indeed, man, indeed. Yeah, you basically kind of ended it right there, James.
I dropped the bomb right there. I dropped the clue bomb. Can I get a clue bomb?
I got you, brother. I got you. Let me find the clue bomb for you. Boom! All right, parting shots for Tyler, man.
Anybody man, I enjoyed it. I wrote down literally what you said, Big James. I was gonna talk about that after when we recapped it. Was morale and emotions. They not robots. That's exactly what I wrote down. It's and you know, I wasn't expecting this level of candor. I was not, you know, but you gave all of us and the people that's watching right now across all social media channels just honesty and reality of what it's really like being in the locker room. And then just from corner to corner,
You already know.
I love to hear the mentality because I know the mentality. It's like you said, it's the mentality you have to play that position, and even how you sized up Byron coming in. That's all real talk. That's honest. That's like you're gonna size up the guy that's coming in, and you came away like confident. It was just I loved it, man. It was cool.
Oh yeah, appreciate y'all having me.
Can't wait to do it again, man.
Hey,
Oh yeah, I'm about to check y'all out for sure.
Yeah, definitely, dog. Yeah, man, we appreciate you coming through, dog. Give a round of applause for Tyler Patmon, y'all.
Hey, and Tyler, I want to ask you one last question. What actual football team are you coaching in high school, so I can kind of follow that?
I'm at North Forney High School right now.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
You gonna move up.
And what positions are you coaching? Are you coaching cornerbacks?
I'm coaching secondary right now.
Oh yeah, you better.
You gonna move up for sure.
Yes, indeed.
You in the league, give you about 5 years. We'll see you in college.
Look. Hey, and let's remember this because we were here first. So when he go again,
remember that.
You was over here first talking about it. We knew before all y'all did.
Yeah, I got you.
All right, good brother. You take it easy,
Bro.
man.
All right,
Too much to unpack.
Y'all be blessed.
You too.
Salutes.
Good stuff by Tyler, man. Absolutely good stuff.
Wow.
We'll wrap that up here in a quick second. I'm just get everybody plugged back in. Yes, get everybody back. Law, there you go, Law. Oh, we good now. I ain't gotta do nothing. That's the fight. I'm quick with it, baby. Let's go.
Bang.
Yeah. Good. We back now. I gotta do nothing. Man, that was good though, boss man. Appreciate you getting Tyler to come on, man. He was right. Real chill. Laid back,
real
cool
chill,
dude, man.
laid back, yeah.
Granted,
humble
for
guy.
everybody that don't know, he said he was gonna do only 5 minutes. That's the longest 5 minutes in life.
I know, James got him. That wasn't even me, homie. That was James got it.
And when he texted me,
you threw you under the bus real quick, big.
I said, dog, no. Then I got a
jump
text
in
message
for
about
5, 6
2 minutes
minutes
later. James said 20. I'm like, all right, I know he done did something. He done said something.
James said, I got 3 more questions.
James
You
got
want
it.
to sit down? He said, yeah. James, like, I'm going to ask it.
I said, you ain't getting on here in no 8 minutes. You on minimum 15, 20.
Yep. But no, it was good, man. It was real good, and I hope he has some success with coaching and whatnot. And we can get him back on here. Maybe if he has any insight on some of these players that are drafted. It definitely if we draft some cornerbacks, so which we need
technique and everything. And
like I said, I just like how he was talking about how players really feel. Like,
Yeah.
We heard Cole Beasley said, you know what, I felt disrespected by the offer. They ain't even, so I'm dipped, and we hear, and I'm not bashing Dallas, so don't think I'm bashing the front office now, but I hear a lot of players, not just in the organization, I felt disrespected by that offer, so I wasn't doing that. And it's real, just like I said, a real job. Like, you work your ass off, you feel like when you deserve to get this money, and they're like, oh, here, a quarter. What?
And we shouldn't be surprised. That's the Cowboys' MO.
Right.
Oh.
Another thing that kind of stood out to me was when he said, just being honest, he said when it feel like a guy has it handed to him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that's somewhere in his point of view and his memory. That was a locker room feeling of a guy somewhere. We can all speculate to where it does, and it affects morale. So like it's as a fan base, I think sometimes we act like morale don't exist with Dallas. We just act like we can talk about the players in public, use them in negotiations, put people that's undeserving and keep them coming back like they did with Witten, withhold snaps from your younger guys that should have developed. It's all of that stuff. He talked about the team effect. I mean, I think we were so lucky to get a guy that's fresh out of playing because most players go speak politically correct.
Right.
But the fact that he's already moved on in his career, he could sit there flat-footed and speak honest. And I think it was great insight for those who just paid attention to the show today.
You talked about morale, and it's crazy because didn't we see that this year on the defensive side of the ball with the coaches? From everything that we've been reading coming out of Dallas, from the defensive coordinator to Tom Sula, and I guess probably some of these secondary coaches, there really wasn't any cohesion. There really wasn't any camaraderie. It sounded like everybody was on different pages. And when you really go back and look, when you grab somebody from here, somebody from there, somebody from here, and bring them all together in the situation we were in, probably something like that's going to happen. Nobody bought into to not Dan Quinn. Nobody bought into Mike Nolan. They probably didn't buy into Jim Tom Sula. The word coming out is that the teaching wasn't there, right? And that you got older guys like that. That's probably what's happening. And now they're ushering in these new coaches. Dan Quinn's a little bit younger, right? This is his first gig becoming a defensive coordinator since being a head coach. He brought in his guys, but guys, let's calm down on this, because I think we're getting out of hand in Dallas Cowboys Nation when coaches bring in their own guys, boss.
Yeah,
James
man.
Law.
No,
That is common. If you go look around the league, that literally happens on every team. And to be honest with y'all, I don't know how this is going to work out, but I'm just giving my 2 cents real quick and I'll let you go.
Yeah.
I'm okay with Dan Quinn bringing in people that are going to be on the same page as Dan Quinn because they worked with Dan Quinn. We just saw you went and got Al Harris from Chiefs. You went and got Mo Lindquist, college. You went and got Jim Tom Sula, Washington. You went and got what's the cat's name? Mike Nolan, New Orleans. And you put them in a melting pot and said, fix it. In 3 months on Zoom.
Yeah.
None of them have the same type of methodologies. They all have to get on the same page, and it didn't work. So maybe you need to bring in people that are on the same page as your head man. So I'm okay with Dan Quinn bringing in his guys to implement his scheme. I don't necessarily know that Mike Nolan brought in his guy. I'm not saying that it would have mattered, but nonetheless, that was a cluster F. I digress.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I think that it's two sides to the coin. When we say the buddy system, and of course, a coach got to feel comfortable running his scheme and his system and implementations, because that's what all coaches do. I believe in the hearts of hearts, coaches coach coaches, meaning that, okay, they brought in Aiden to be the defensive line guy. He didn't have experience as defensive line guy in Atlanta, but he was an outside linebackers coach. I think that he will be the guy that Dan Quinn can reach out to and say, okay, this is what I want the front four to do. Although I'm going to have my hand on it, right? But I trust Aiden more than I trust anybody else. I trust him more than I trust Tom Sula, whoever, right? So we have to give it a time to grow. And objectively speaking, I think that this is the right way. But the only problem is that I know a lot of people are going to look at your previous record and say, hey, wait a minute, and that just unfortunately.
I think it's a little bit of both. I think it's because Mike McCarthy has a bad rep sheet on defense. We have to start being honest about that now, because it's starting to seem to follow him. And I'm not even quite on board with the defensive line coach that they just hired. It's a little bit too green for my liking. The fact that he only coached linebackers before, and then he was over quality control for 2 years, a coach only 1 year. Then you put him in a group of men. That doesn't have the right feel to me. Sometimes you can hit on a genius, like our offensive coordinator.
I was just
Kellen
about to
Moore.
say, how you feel about Kellen Moore?
No. I mean, I'm looking at it balanced, but it's one of those things that my initial thought when I look at McCarthy's history is I don't blame people that have a healthy amount of skepticism. But I also was crazily thinking about what you said, Sky, before the show, where I know Ronnie Braxton. I know him well. I went to school with Ronnie Braxton. So to be all the way candid about that and transparent about that. And I was thinking it's going to probably sound biased for me to vouch for him. Right? But it's also a benefit that I know him, because I knew him. So he never knew that I was going to end up maybe interviewing one of his players. Right? So as I'm interviewing one of his players, I'm like, I knew, because I was out there when y'all was one day having a session, and I saw you in real time, fully focused on guys not getting injured. You know what I mean? Like emphatic about it. So sometimes your relationship has a major advantage, because if you're gonna knock, to your point, Will, if we're gonna knock Mike McCarthy for one coach, then you shouldn't give him no credit for filming. You got to give him credit for filming, because he got that relationship hire extremely right. So I think but I am concerned, because
That's valid to have concern. I mean, what? How can we be super confident after last year in anything?
Right.
I think skepticism
Especially
right now.
defense.
Yeah, definitely. Hell yeah, on defense.
Because it's starting to follow him. And then I'm looking at your current picks, and I'm like,
do you put that on the head coach, though? He's an offensive guy.
right. And I'm going to tell you what was going through my mind today, bro. I'm just being all the way honest.
Yeah,
that's the only way I'm going to be, man. Is some people don't like power around them. Like I heard people say loving us when we do shows because they say, you know what? There are 4 people that got voices in the Cowboy, but they come together. People not used to this right here. Like this is not normal. Like usually there's ugly rivalries and fights and pettiness. And I'm just starting to wonder. I mean, obviously I'm not the roach on the wall to see the conversations, but Mike McCarthy, do you have a problem with sharing power? Do you have a problem with picking guys with better resumes? Because Quinn, I'm just speaking honest, man, he was the cheap seats. Yeah, I mean, fired mid-season. You haven't had a top 10 defense literally only once your whole tenure at Atlanta, even though you wasn't the head coach. I mean, the defense coordinator, the buck stopped with you, and you supposed to be a defensive coach. You was literally known as Comeback City, bro. Like literally when we was playing them and they had that big lead, I said, thank God it's Atlanta. And I mean, that's the day of the game. And I posted that, thank God it's Atlanta, because it's like we got hope. So that's cheap seats to me, meaning his resume was poor, right? And we have all these good coaches in the playoffs right now. Come on now. We got good coaches in the playoffs right now. That's the premier.
I'll just play it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, like Spagnoli from Kansas City. We saw what he has a track record.
How'd he do as a head coach?
No, I'm saying right now, judging the current resumes,
okay,
like we know as a D coordinator that he did much better on that defense than what we've seen out of Quinn.
How did Spags do as a head coach?
As a head coach, I'm not even sure.
He was not good.
Now, was his defense good though?
No.
His defense was bad. Was his players bad?
Yeah, I believe it was the Rams. Not mistaken, y'all. Right? Rams, bad teams.
But was a bad team as a whole.
Boss, I think I'm pushing back, and I don't want to take over this Boston Steel show.
No.
But this is the dialogue I want to have. This is why I'm glad I got
this
you
is
on
a good one
because it's interesting. Because you say his resume,
right? His
resume as a head coach. Yes, question it. But his resume as a defensive coordinator, how really can you say it's what was the word you said it was? Low variety or
cheap seats.
How
a cheap seats higher.
Okay, so is his resume as a DC cheap sheets after having going to the Super Bowl, won the Super Bowl?
Of course not.
Great defense. Okay. So
but you can say the same thing on Mike Nolan then.
No, I can't.
Yes, you can, because he also got a Super Bowl. He also had him a top 5 defense, and actually he had more.
Oh, when did Mike Nolan win the Super Bowl as a DC?
No, Mike Nolan. Yeah, when he was with
Marvin Lewis won the Super Bowl as a DC with the Raiders.
Oh, that's right. He was the DC. He was what? He was the linebackers coach.
He was something on the staff. He eventually became the defensive coordinator.
He inherited that defense.
But I can say this because I did research all of their. I researched all of the resumes like before I start talking about these defensive coordinators. He actually built him a top 5 defense way more than Quinn. So this is very hard to judge. Like this is not an easy analysis that we're going through. But it's just the timing, because I think with all of them you have to also look at the talent, right? Right? Because that's fair. Right, you can't give even a great coach bad talent. They go they go stink.
Right.
So, but at the same time, you was known for comebacks.
I'll get to that. I don't want to go. Y'all go ahead and rebut or add on to bosses, and then I'll come back.
Go ahead, Law. I ain't got nothing to say.
I'm just not buying this offseason optimism, bro. Not yet.
There's no optimism.
And it's getting worse.
There's no. Throw optimism out. We speaking fact. You speaking your truth, your facts.
Let's also talk about the fact that Quinn, and this is because I don't want people to think that I'm just all the way out on Quinn. I like some of the things that they've done with Quinn. I like Witt. I like the Witt pick because I think McCarthy really got his butt kicked by Witt. You know what I mean? Because you know how it is. You respect people that beat you up. They're straight up, right? Like throughout life. The bully gets no respect until you beat him up. So when you're high on a coach that was the competitor to you on the same team, he was likely whooping you and earned your respect. So that's why I like the Witt pick. And obviously I like the offensive line coach. That worked out great.
His resume is excellent as an offensive line coach.
Yeah, it's excellent. And but Quinn, when you had to have basically, you can argue which defense was all time. Legion of Boom, 85 defense, or the Ravens with Ray Lewis in 96. That was a top 3 all-time defenses. So could it be
in Denver too?
But I would say this about Quinn. I would say this about Quinn that I do like, because I don't want to just talk about what I didn't like. What I do like is very obvious to me. It's very obvious to me that the players love him. His defensive players, they get behind him. And I saw that from Atlanta, and I saw that just from my research. And I know y'all saw the same thing. Atlanta and Seattle, they get behind him. And that's a good sign. That's a good sign. I wouldn't want us to be shopping from the cheap seats because we're trying to control you. Now, feel me on that. Like, because guess who else, if you really think about it, was a cheap seat hire? I say Mike McCarthy was cheap seats a little bit too. Not as bad, but it's like when you hiring these people that's sitting there dormant, you can control them, possibly.
Yeah. I mean, Mike McCarthy was a hire, I don't got time hire. Jerry said, I ain't got time to hire Joe Brady. I ain't got time to hire Matt Rule. I ain't got time to hire Patrick Graham. I need a coach who did something because I ain't got time. And that's what that was. There's some young, bright coaches out there that could have been hired, but it would have took time.
Or balls.
It took time.
No, you'd have to get that right.
Just let everybody know I'm not sleeping when I read the comments. It's just I'm looking down, so that's the only way I can read the comments.
Yeah, that's why I was trying to let Law James go because I got some stuff I want to talk about, but I don't want to keep interrupting y'all.
Say about no Quinn, dog. I done already said it. I felt like it was a shut up signing. I'm not hating on Quinn at all. I'm not saying he's a bad coordinator for the team. I just feel like, just like you said, Scott said that Jerry's 79 years old. He gonna say, well, you know what? I ain't 50 now. I'm 79 years old. I'm 80. Quinn got a Super Bowl. He had the Legion of Boom, just like when he brought in Richard, just like when he brought in McCarthy, because McCarthy won a Super Bowl with Aaron Rodgers. He like, I ain't got time to wait. So this dude got a resume. He done did this. So let's get your ass on over here and let's make this happen now, because I ain't got time to wait.
Good thing, James, he's not 60-something like Nolan was. He's not 70-something like Kiffin was. He's not 60, 70-something like not Kiffin. What's the other? Rob Marinelli. You see, we always bring in these old-ass defensive coordinators and expect them to relate to these young bucks. Now, Marinelli, salute to him. He did what he could do. I'm not going to knock Marinelli too much. It just kind of got stale and it was time to move forward. They could have just did that with Chris, honestly. They could have just – I felt like that would have been the best thing to do. Promote within, because you need that continuity. But I'll get back to that. Law, anything to add there?
Well, it's good that we do have now a younger defensive coordinator, but I'm just sitting here waiting for like week 1, week 2, week 3 before I give my evaluation and my assessment of Quinn.
No, everything is wait and see. Yeah,
it's wait and see. Yeah.
Everything's wait and see.
Because last year I was so happy and go lucky with the other. I said, we're gonna bring in some new talent. It's going to be this and going to be that, and it just didn't ever came out to where I wanted to be. You know.
Yes, we understand, Jay, that Gus Bradley was the defensive coordinator before Dan Quinn. We understand that. We understand.
Yeah.
That don't mean you take away what Dan Quinn did with the defense. I mean,
you just got to build Quinn another Legion of Boom.
If that's
and on top of that,
because if that's the case, you need to take away every head coach, all their accolades if they had great players. Take it away. Bill Walsh, don't give him any credit. Tom Landry,
not all of them. Nope. Because
see,
some of them rebuild. See, like Marvin Lewis, he rebuilt another top 5 defense.
And what did that top 5 defense do for him?
Nothing, because it's offense stink. When you got a quarterback,
no, they did
when
not
you got
stink,
a quarterback.
boss.
Oh no, they did stink. Like when Andy Dalton got you in the playoffs.
Yes.
That's what I'm saying. Cincinnati defense was nice, and they got a lot of sleepers.
I'm not disagreeing, but
and he got a lot of
16 years. That defense couldn't win one playoff game for him.
No, because that offense was that bad. Like when Andy Dalton makes the playoffs 4 times with 3 Pro Bowls.
Andy Dalton was trash.
Get in there and throw 1 touchdown to 7 interceptions.
You also got in there.
That is not your defense.
You also got in there with Palmer.
Last year in the playoffs, before Marvin Lewis got fired, it was them doing the stupid stuff at the end of the game when your boy fumbled the ball when they had the game won. Andy Dalton had got hurt, and they had the game won, but that running back from LSU fumbled in the game, and then they came back and lost. So Bengals did stupid stuff to beat themselves in those because they really could have won that last playoff game against Pittsburgh.
Yeah, and then when I look at all the players he's turned around and all the efforts that he made to make players better, like Marvin Lewis had players staying in his house to keep him out of trouble, man. Major sacrifices for that defense.
He had all kind of nutcases on.
Yeah, but them nutcases was balling. That we had nutcases in the 90s.
And I don't want to compare Marvin and because that's. I mean, listen, Marvin Lewis was never up for this job. This just is what it is. It's not like they brought Marvin Lewis in to. If they brought him in to interview, then yeah, we can compare him. But
they hired the Quinn so fast, man.
No, but boss, it wasn't. Everything that came out was that they already were looking into this and actually did their homework and did their behind the scene in December.
Yeah, I know, and that's too fast. That's too fast.
How was a month too fast?
Okay.
Well, my thing is, I feel what Boss is saying, and I see what you coming at too, Sky. They did all of their homework on a certain guy, but what Boss saying is that, hey, by you singling in on one person, why not bring in a Robert Salah? Or why not bring in somebody that's like the Marvin Lewis?
Don't say Robert Salah. Don't say Robert Salah. You're not bringing in a defensive coordinator to be a defensive coordinator. But Marvin Lewis, maybe they did that. Remember, he was brought in. He was interviewed. What more did you need to hear from Marvin Lewis?
Well,
yeah, but it was. I mean, that was interviewing for a head coaching job.
But you don't think it came in there and said, Marvin, how do you plan to change?
I don't know. And he just one name. I had like
one
6.
Name. Right. That's why I don't
like I had 6. That's like I felt like you should at least checked under the hood first before you get the cheap seats.
Who are your 6 though, boss?
Man, I had Spagnolia. I had Bowles.
They weren't none of this. So why are you talking? Why are we talking about this?
I'm talking about shop them. At least shop them.
They're going to do it. They weren't going to shop. We know this, boss. We just had a show with me and you talked about it. So why are we playing the imaginary thing?
I mean, I'm just saying, because see, we might have to talk about this in the future.
It's not happening.
We're talking about it now because we might have to revisit this in the future and say, we said this, damn it. And then sometimes we got to talk about it.
Matter. We knew that even if they were talking for him a month, we knew they were going to go the more comfortable, safe route.
Yeah, that was safe. And that's what we got to acknowledge that because it's better to say it now. It was safe. I'm not drinking this off-season Kool-Aid because remember, they gave us a big cup. That juicy cup of Thompson being the best safety. Y'all remember that cup? They also gave an off-season cup of receiver by committee.
But didn't Jerry tell us this? And he said, I made a mistake and I did all of this. He told us, he's telling us I'm going back the safe route. I went out there and it was dangerous. I went out there to try to be scary. And guess what? It bit me in my ass. So guess what? I'm going back to being safe. So let me get Dan Quinn up in here quick as hell.
Let me throw
you get your D-line coach or what you're coaching.
Let me throw you well, you got to understand though, boss. Quinn is the D-line coach. Let's just be real. He's the D-line guy. It is what it is. But nonetheless, let me give you a different perspective to think of. You called Quinn a cheap sheet hire, whatever. It doesn't.
Yeah, no doubt.
What would you have called Spags after he got fired from the Rams?
I don't know his record. See,
they had the 26th ranked defense.
I would have to look because we're not dealing with one bad year. See, because I judge Witt way different than I judged a Quinn. Because, see, Witt went.
Oh, so let me finish.
He went from the Browns to the Atlanta. Go ahead.
Let me finish. Spagnuolo had 1-15 his first year in St. Louis, 31st ranked defense. His last year in St. Louis, 26th ranked defense.
Right.
What would you have called him after he was fired? Cheap seats.
No, not just because of the record. It was because of the reputation. Like it wasn't just the record.
Okay, you're talking about because of the boneheaded, like giving up all the leads.
It's all of it. Getting fired mid-season, getting ran out of town, mixed that in.
With 1-15 and 2-14. He should have been fired.
Well, I mean, then Jimmy Johnson should have been fired. Sometimes you gotta see. That's why I'm saying I'm looking at Quinn. Yeah, because I'm looking at Quinn over a longer period of time too. So, like, I can see every coach should get their time to have an up and down because that sometimes depends on talent, right?
So
because see, Jimmy Johnson came in with trash talent and was also 3-32 or 4-32. He only won like 4 games his first 2 years.
8-8, 11-5, 10-6, went to the Super Bowl, then had 2 down years, and then he started off bad this year.
But I'm not judging him by wins. I'm judging him by his defensive performances.
He wasn't the defensive coordinator until 2019.
Well, I'm still judging him as it's okay. So if I have an offensive minded OC, that shouldn't be a reflection of my also OC.
No. That's fair. It's fair. I'm just saying if you're I don't know how you're judging them, but just let you know, bringing context to this thing. Yeah. Yes, he wasn't a DC. Nonetheless, he's a defensive man.
We know he wasn't a DC.
But he's a defensive man.
If it's supposed to be your specialty,
right.
You're supposed to have the override button to prevent all these epic ass comebacks. And the fact that there's so many of these on your resume, I have to call it what it is: cheap seats. Now, can we win with him?
Can you bring context to it? He's a head coach, no longer responsible for one area of the team anymore.
True. That
and
is
a lot
context,
of times,
and I would add that context.
When those defensive coordinators become first-time head coaches, they flame out because they're not used to do a lot of not even just defensive coordinators, head coach or coordinators. Period. And you like, again, I'm gonna use a cheap sheets. I like the term.
Yeah.
Leslie Frazier, not good as a head coach, been great as a defensive coordinator ever since. Dennis Allen, not good as a head coach, has been a good defensive coordinator. Todd Bowles, not good as a head coach, been great as a defensive coordinator.
Right.
Steve Spagnuolo, not good as a head coach, been good as a defensive coordinator.
Killing it right now.
Chuck Pagano, flamed out as a head coach, killed it as a defensive coordinator. Wade
Phillips, you got to throw Wade in there.
Yeah,
Wade average head coach, great defensive coordinator. My point is, and a lot of these defensive coordinators that were head coaches were first-time head coaches, flamed out, became defensive coordinators, and either that first or second year, their teams were really good defensively, or at some point they got their momentum back. Right. So my thing is, it's okay. I think the reason why we're not all down, there's skepticism with Quinn, is what happened in Atlanta, how it ended, rightfully so.
Yes, right.
And how the season went for the Cowboys.
And that.
So when you mesh those two together, it's hard
you get both.
Right. It's hard to feel positive. And I'm not throwing any optimism out here. This isn't, like I said, throw optimism away and let's just bring context to this matter here.
And I see the positive. Let me add 1 cent to it, not 2.
Yeah.
But we had Chris Richard too, that was I guess part of Dan Quinn's system, and we was talking about the same thing. So it seems like we're repeating the same thing over and over again. So y'all go ahead.
I'll tell you where I came up with the term cheap seats, okay? Because actually it really wasn't in relation to just his job performance. It was more so in relation to the types of people who were fired mid-season. Okay, so when you look at the people that's fired mid-season, I call that whole group cheap seats, and I did a show about it. Okay, so when you look at Bill O'Brien, and we let who was that offensive line coach we let go?
Paul Alexander.
Yeah. So and when you're let go mid-season,
but it wasn't like mid-season year one. But boss, don't you think that was a smart thing to do? If you know, like, okay, we're not moving forward with this coach, we need to get on our search now.
Well, no, I mean, no, not mid-season. Like it depends. If you're just bad, yes. So like people that I was ready to fire mid-season was like Mike Nolan. It was that bad. So
was that
when
bad
you,
in Atlanta?
Yeah, no, but like Mike Nolan, I'm on record about Game 4, Game 5, doing shows with Big Game James. He asked me, "Are you out?" I said, "I'm all the way out." So I would have missed his rebound, which even though it was rebound on bad teams, it was still a rebound. But at the same time, that's a cheap sheet. Because think about it. We would have all been happy. No, hold on real quick. We would have all been happy if we fired Mike Nolan mid-season, wouldn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, we would have been happy. So Atlanta, now put yourself in Atlanta's shoes where you're the Atlanta team and you just watch the coach that you hate, the Cowboys picked up. You saying the same thing. You saying y'all picked up our trash. That's what they're saying. We got rid. We didn't even want him.
If he was hired
better
as a head coach, yes. I'm of the essence that it is different being strictly responsible for one part of a team as opposed to the entire team. And I forget, I think it was Brian Broaddus or somebody brought it up where it's the little things that we don't really think about as fans, making sure that people, the team is getting where it needs to get to, organizing when you get there, making sure special teams, offensive line, defensive line, my secondary coach, my assistant all these things are taking away from what your specialty was to the point sometimes you don't even call the plays or really implement the game plan all the way like that anymore. Ask Mike Zimmer. And Law, we and you talked about this before. Right. George Edwards was defensive coordinator by name. Mike Zimmer called the plays on game day. But if you go back and listen to Mike Zimmer, he'll tell you, oh, yeah, I called the plays and I helped with the game plan. But George Edwards was my man. I couldn't do it if I didn't have him with me. So while he's the head coach and the coordinator, he's only doing that because he got a guy that's doing that for him or with him. Whereas some of these walk-around guys, they can't do that. And we found out Nolan can't, or not Nolan, I'm sorry. Quinn not a walk-around guy. Quinn a coordinator. And that's okay. Be a coordinator. Will it work here? Who the hell knows? But I do think he could be a good defensive coordinator in this league. It just may not be with Dallas, but I still think he'll at some point get that back together.
So
I don't have any reason.
I would say it like this. I'm like Law. I'm like Big Game James on this. I'm super wait and see, man. And I'm actually not excited. I'm feeling
Who would
like
you have been excited for if we'd hired?
I would have been excited for Spagnolia. For sure. Marvin, for sure. I would have felt great. I would have felt like that was probably one of the top bowls I would have felt good about.
I mean, realistic ones. Like nobody's laterally coming to the Cowboys, in my opinion. Like, why would Spags leave the Super Bowl champion Chiefs to be the Dallas Cowboys defensive coordinator? You know what I mean? Why would Todd Bowles leave the Buccaneers to be the defensive coordinator in Dallas?
Money talks sometimes.
No.
Money does talk sometimes.
Why would those organizations say, yes, I'll give you permission to go be the same job over there? They're not going to do that.
Yeah, and so we can take him off the list for feasibility.
Now,
no,
Marvin,
he's not as feasible. Yeah, but Marvin, and I wish I had my list in front of me. I had like 8 because I did a show on this, so I researched them all. Obviously, when we hired them, I just divorced it out of my head.
Well, some young guys.
No, most of them was veteran. Most of them they was 4-3 defensive coordinators. They weren't 3-4 hybrids or anything like that. The closest one to the hybrid was Todd Bowles, who will go hybrid on you, and he'll do it based on skill set. But what was my coach that was the head coach for the Raiders? Can't remember his name.
Dennis Allen?
No.
Del
Rio. I like Del.
Okay.
He was one of them.
I'd have been excited for Wade.
Wade.
I would have been excited for Wade.
Yeah, I would have been excited for Wade.
Maybe biased because I like Wade as a coordinator, but I would have been excited for that.
Yeah, I would have felt like, and so, and it's all about, because I don't want to give him too much credit for the Legion, even though I give him a good credit, because I say for the Legion, you still manage those guys. I can't take away the fact that you manage those guys. You manage those guys great. I just don't want to feel like in order to even have a top 15 defense, I got to give you similar types. Well, then we're asking for a 1-30 type defense, which is not going to happen, especially within 1 year.
I don't mean to interrupt, boss, but isn't this the same thing where we talk about, I'm not hating, but Dallas going out and getting the name people. We went out and got the names last year. We went and got Poe. We got McCoy. We was excited about it, right? You feel me? Because we hadn't seen that, but we'd like to get the names. And if it's a no-name guy, we're like, who the hell is that? Why? He sucks. I mean, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Quinn is a name guy. Why do
But a lot of name guys.
It's a name with bad
defensive
research too.
coordinators.
It's a name with bad research because when they got Poe and McCoy,
and the first thing you think about with Dan Quinn, you don't associate him with Atlanta. You associate him with that Legion of Boom and that damn Super Bowl. That's what the hell you associate with him, and that's why Cowboys fans got excited.
Right? And
so Todd, Spags, Dennis, Leslie, all former head coaches are considered names.
They're not names like a Dan Quinn. You said Todd Bowles is a name, bigger name than Dan Quinn because he got a Super Bowl.
What do you mean bigger name?
I'm saying these are names, but when we're talking about a Dan Quinn, what do you remember him as? Do you remember Todd Bowles as anything?
Yes, because he's one of the best defensive coordinators in this league.
Okay, but I'm asking you, do you remember Dan Quinn more than you remember Todd Bowles?
We're talking about Super Bowls, no. But I respect Todd Bowles as one of the best defensive coordinators in the league.
I feel like he is, but he's not going to get that chance. And Cowboys went for Dan Quinn. We remember you at the Legion of Boom. So we what you did. So come on over.
Yeah, and then
let's look at it like this.
What I'm saying is they're not going to take that chance with a Todd Bowles.
Well, just look at it like this. Even the year that we had last year was horrible, right? We didn't get a chance to see any implementations due to OTAs or training camp. And I know that there's other teams that can have the same sentiments. But I don't think that the other teams tried to install a whole new scheme.
True.
So one thing that I can say about Quinn this year is that I believe that they're going to have OTAs. I believe that they're going to have the training camps. And Dan Quinn, he's going to get on the level and he's going to speak to the players. Hopefully, we're going to reach into the free agency and get one or two guys and implement his style and his scheme. And I guess less than 10 days from now, all three of us or all four of us, we're going to be looking at the Senior Bowl line by line, seeing who will fit the 4-3, who's going to be on the defensive side. We're going to look at each of those guys that's out there, hoping that the Cowboys pick up those guys, and maybe, just maybe, we'll have a better performance than what we had last year. I believe so. We will.
Now, I think that's a real good thought, too, because when we was having a debate on who was a potential better candidate, that can kind of make it seem as if there's no hope for Quinn. No, there's hope for Quinn.
A lot of hope.
And I say the hope also in your point and spinning it to a positive law that I also see is the fact that we simplifying it back to a 4-3. We're not going to have people doing this hybrid stuff. And I think that's going to make our guys just faster, period. I think it's going to cause our edge rushers to be the single point of the defense again. That's the fundamentals of a 4-3 defense. It's built off the edges and the talent of the edges. I think taking the hand in the ground and going upfield and working his counters is going to make a lot more plays. So if we can just patch up the small holes that we have on defense, I think you're right. I think it puts us mid defense.
That's all we need.
Yeah. I say we might want more than that. But
you don't need to be some elite defense. This defense needs to get back to at the very least the middle of the pack and being opportunistic with turnovers. That's
I think that'll get us in the playoffs. But I think that'll get us in the playoffs. I think we're gonna need some ballers.
I was just about to say that's the number one, boss. We need
ballers. We need ballers, and so like I didn't want to come across as the Debbie Downer. I was honestly analyzing why so damn fast. Like literally, like it's you could have looked at a lot more candidates even if you waited, right? Because your better candidates, which I call the better seats, not the cheap seats, the 50-yard line seats in the playoffs right now. You know, those guys is also you could have looked at after the season was officially over.
I got a theory on that, but go ahead.
I'm curious if your candidates had more defensive coordinator experience than Quinn. Because I think something that's working against Dan Quinn is that he was only the defensive coordinator in Seattle, where a lot of these guys were defensive coordinators at multiple different places, before or after they were head coaches. So I'm wondering if that's kind of being held against him, and that's all. And you know what it is. He wasn't a DC anywhere else, so he only has one defensive coordinator part of his resume on his resume.
Right,
so that's probably.
Remember him as I just ain't trying to hate, but when you think of Dan Quinn, you think of that Legion of Boom. But like I said, I feel like he wasn't the sole guy. Gus Bradley was an architect in that defense.
Oh, for sure.
And I'm not hating on Quinn, but when I see, it's almost like he got hyped up with it. Not saying he ain't put no work in there. I ain't saying that, but it's almost like he got hyped in because Gus Bradley planted seeds in that too. And Quinn left for a little bit, and Gus Bradley was still there doing it. You feel me? And then Quinn came back.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah. So when Quinn came back, and then he reaped the benefits of that fruition of the defense growing even more. Now you eating off the labor, and just like you said, Sky, then you go off all of a sudden because you're the hot guy, and then you become a coach at Atlanta.
So how do we explain Gus Bradley then? Gus Bradley ate off the Legion of Boom, got a head coach because of it, did nothing in Jacksonville, was not a good team, was not a good defense until they brought in Doug Marrone and had all those bad picks and they finally hit, or all those top picks and they finally hit. Then went to the Chargers as a defensive coordinator, implemented his scheme, got it together. Now they have a respectable defense. Gus Bradley basically kind of in the same boat as Dan Quinn. Listen, there's no doubt about it. Dan Quinn became a head coach because of the defense in Seattle. Let's just be real.
Yeah.
Gus Bradley became a head coach because of the defense in Seattle. Both of these guys, when they became head coaches, their defense were not Seattle.
Yeah, and let's be real. It's hard to recreate an Earl Thomas, a Richard Sherman, Cam Chancellor, Ronnie Bain, and all of those boys, and Cliff Averill. So it's hard to recreate those guys.
And
so
then Quinn didn't. Gus did.
Yeah, Gus. Well,
he drafted him.
He drafted him. So that's a hard thing
Gus
to do.
Gus did where? Oh, you mean in Seattle?
In Seattle, it's just hard to recreate it. But my theory is that Dan, while him being on the market, the Cowboys looking at it like, what was our issue? What was our fault last season? Well, we didn't have enough time. Well, damn it, this year, we're not going to have that excuse. We're going to bring in somebody earlier so they can evaluate the current roster that we have now, and then so they can facilitate some philosophies during the free agency, so they can get their butt out here and do their homework for the draft. And we're not going to wait 3 to 4 weeks because the NFL is a week-to-week business.
Law, do you still feel like they went the safe side on this hire?
I feel like, with the thing is with Dan Quinn, they went with a philosophy of the 4-3. Yes, it was safer than bringing in a new philosophy.
I think it needed to go
opposed to bringing in somebody that they don't know. So the 4-3 is a safer deal. That was most of the players were crying about, saying that they were comfortable. The 4-3 part
law smart.
Say again?
Yeah, I would use the word smart.
It is smart. It's smart.
The 4-3, but as I said, man, like I said, I ain't trying to be the hater of the bunch. I said, but I told y'all before they hired Dan Quinn, didn't I tell y'all I was like, I don't want no Dan Quinn. I said that.
Yeah, I didn't want him.
You said you didn't want him nor Wade Phillips, right?
I did both of them. I didn't want them. And it wasn't that I didn't think Wade was a dog. I just feel like it reincarnating that with Dallas after all them years you've been here. I just feel like it wasn't going to reincarnate. And when I seen Dan Quinn, I don't even feel like the Atlanta thing influenced me. I just feel like you haven't had a dope track record as a defensive coordinator, like you said, Sky, and you popped off that thing, because remember, Chris Richard was the hot guy too. Remember, everybody was talking about him being a head coach until we got our ass kicked in that playoffs with them Rams, and all of a sudden, when nobody talking about Chris Richard being,
and that wasn't even his fault.
That wasn't his fault. I think Chris Richard is a victim of the Cowboys.
Yep.
I know he was still a hot guy of being a head coach until that debacle. You feel me?
I don't even think it was that. I think it was being in Dallas, dog. I think there's some blacklisting going on with Chris Richard, but that could be a whole nother show. I think Chris Richard is not some idiot. I don't understand why this man is not in the league.
Me neither.
You know what? We'll go there. Chris Richard
that's
need to
another
be
mystery.
He need to be coaching, but nonetheless,
he need to be coaching.
I think that would have been the best thing to do, is to just hire
My
Chris.
thing is, I knew they were going to, when Dan Quinn got mentioned, this is what I felt in my heart. I said I didn't want that. And as soon as his name came up, I just honestly felt in my heart, I was like, watch, Dallas is going to get him. I just felt that instantly, like Dallas is going to get him because it's Dan Quinn, Legion of Boom. They're looking at Legion. I just felt it. And then when they said Dan Quinn, when they brought him in, I said, yeah, they ain't mess with nobody.
Come on, he the leading candidate,
Big
like
James?
It's a bunch of candidates right now.
Put it like this before boss go. Would you be happier with my option? Remember, I was saying keep Mike Nolan. Come on, James. I got you now. I should have put a smile on your face. Would you be happy with Mike Nolan?
I mean, and that's an excellent point, though, man. That's going back to
I got you.
We gonna play better because we're in a 4-3.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta look at that part of it.
But at the same time, and your point is valid, Law, because we really did lose time. Like COVID killed 2 weeks. Like when you have a new coach in the voluntary workouts, you get 2 extra weeks to report. That was taken because of COVID. You right on that. Now, like we can't take away from that affecting our defense. That's a fair counter. At the same time, man.
Boss, I think what else we have to realize here is that we can't continue to have all these different philosophies. This is going to be 3 different Chiefs in 3 years defensively. How can you build a culture? How can you build a process, right? That word. How can you build if you're constantly switching the Chiefs and the schemes? You can't keep doing that because on the 3-4 with this Mike Nolan scheme, thank goodness they didn't go all the way in on it. And it fell on his face, and then we bring in a 4-3 guy with 3-4 players because you can't keep doing that. So I think if we can remove, and I think us as content creators need to try to push this to the fans. I know we want to say the Legion of Boom. Let's take out the Legion of Boom, and let's look at it for what it is. A 4-3 coach that has a plan of what the type of players he want. Can you tell me, boss, what the hell type of player did Mike Nolan want? What the hell type of plan was Mike Nolan? What the hell type of defense was that?
Yeah, I would say, man, to your point, the first thing they got to stop doing is stop lying to us. That's the first thing, because they came out last year and told us last year that we are all 4-3 and we're going to have occasionally some 3-4 principles. They lied, man. It was the other way. And then December 12th is when Jerry came out with Steven saying,
damn, my bad.
That was the biggest regret. So you gave us 12 weeks of lies to finally say we messed up. So it's like, stop selling the fans shut up stuff. Like if you go build 3-4, say you go build 3-4. So that we could critique you. Cause see what I was saying in the offseason, and I was saying this with Big when we was doing shows. I say, man, I keep hearing this 3-4 stuff. We don't have the linebackers. I kept saying that, bro. Like,
we don't got the personnel.
We didn't have the personnel. So I was like, it can't be what they telling us. But it manifested during the season. So like we can't even as podcasters tell the truth if we being lied to. Because what they saying now is we're 4-3. Well, I mean, based on how you did us last year, are you? Right? So it's like, I think this time really they're 4-3.
Yeah.
But I'm saying though, I'm starting to have a bad stench, bro. And the stench is I'm seeing bad defense follow McCarthy, man. Because when I looked at Green Bay, because I study also the competitor, right? So I'll look at Green Bay. I say, okay, what happened after Green Bay that turned Green Bay? They made 2 major free agent acquisitions and 1 in the back with Savage.
They made 4.
Who was the 4th?
Preston, the Smith brothers. Kirksey, Adrian,
okay.
Amos. That's 4. That's a high percentage of really good players that they weren't bringing in during. But go ahead.
That's my point. That's what I'm saying. It's a breakdown with him.
It wasn't. But it's not that. So the free agency switch had nothing to do with him. That was Ted Thompson, and he talked about how him and Ted Thompson butt heads because he would not let go out and get free agents. McCarthy spoke on this.
You saying that they finally came around to getting free agents after he left and it was too late.
Happen. What they did was they fired Ted Thompson for being the general manager, and it happened to coincide with Mike McCarthy leaving. They brought in a new general manager. And what happened the first year?
You giving me a little bit of that point. What was it? Don Capers just a bad defensive coordinator? They got rid of Don Capers and they bring in the other guy.
He was good there early, kind of like Wade Phillips is. When Don Capers first comes in, if y'all watch Don Capers, when he first comes in the building, his first few years, he's dynamic. They be doing all kind of turnovers, creating, but then it gets stale and people start catching on to his style, and then you can beat it.
Let me ask you, James, would you put that on Don, or would you put what Boss is saying? He's saying bad defenses are following him. I mean, let's be real, McCarthy's only been in 2 places now. But would you put that on Capers? Would you put that on front office? Would you put that on Mike? Would you put that in a mixture? Because it sounds like, boss, you're putting it on Mike. When I personally think it was a combination of all 3, Really,
Yeah,
he's
but it's
probably
been a
at the
long
bottom of the.
history.
He's
It's been a
probably at the
long
bottom of the
history with
totem
Mike.
pole.
feel
It's
like
been
go ahead. I just feel like McCarthy went with Capers, and then when they got the Super Bowl and they was balling out, it's like, okay, it's easy. I don't got to look for nobody else. You know what I'm saying? Just stay here. And then it's like you see how long he kept Capers, even when Capers' defense is like you catch on the
Right.
Capers.
He reminded me
after,
of Dick LeBeau. Like the Steelers kept Dick LeBeau for so long till it got funny like Capers, and they said, "All right, Keith Butler, step on up."
But you feel me? It's like Capers. It's like McCarthy. You seen Capers D. After a few years, people catch on to it, but you still keep on trying to keep him. I don't know.
Same. No. You on to something like with Mike Nolan. Mike Nolan is the exact same example, bro.
Ain't never did nothing
nowhere.
nowhere.
Yeah,
dog.
it's like so. It's like
It's not
so.
the
At
same
some
example.
point, you lobby for this guy. He comes in and epically fails. He produces a defense that's literally worst in our franchise history, and he's not a mid-season fire.
That should have
And
happened.
you, right? He should have been a mid-season fire, which literally means you was likely lobbying to keep his ass around. Let's be
Like,
honest. The only
more
reason
time.
Mike Nolan, because our front office showed that they will fire you mid-season, and dog, like man, we did it the year before. So Mike Nolan likely lobbied for this guy. Also knew he was coming in with that 3-4 garbage, but lobbied us like we was a 4-3 and said it in the public because our fans are smart. We got the smartest fan base, I guarantee you. Because all of us was scratching our head in the fan base on this. This is a 3-4 coach and we a 4-3 defense, and we ain't gonna be able to build that likely in 1 year. The resources it would take to do that, especially be a contender. That we was chirping about it, so they was like, "We're a 4-3." They came out with that. It was a lie. But who lobbied for this guy? So I mean,
Yeah, he did himself no favors by the Mike Nolan thing. He can't. You don't get a pass, McCarthy.
So I'm like,
of Mike
McCarthy,
Nolan.
show me some good defense at some point, bro. Like, cause this bad defense, and then I'm talking to Green Bay people, like I'm doing my scouting, cause I go to the people, like you know how it is. If people really want to know about Jason Garrett, come talk to me, come talk to you, come talk to Law.
Oh,
You see what I'm saying?
Absolutely time for
So I'm
McCarthy
talking
to
to
go.
Green Bay people, and I'm like, okay, listen, we over here, we like Mike McCarthy, but what was really going on? And I'm just getting the intel from them, and they like, hey man, and I'm researching it, and they like, bro, it's the defense. That's why we got rid of him.
That's not why they got.
And
rid
it
of
looked
him.
true.
That is not why they got rid of him, boss.
But it been years of it. Like I know he said he been fighting back and forth and that, and then we know we can't trust him because he came out.
Aaron Rodgers or Mike McCarthy. What are you picking?
Aaron Rodgers didn't like Mike
Thank
McCarthy
you.
no
What
more. And
the
that's why he had
defense
to
ain't
go.
have jack to do with it. It was Aaron
didn't like
Rodgers or Mike
Once
McCarthy.
Aaron Rodgers don't like you no more, bye. Because
Aaron
just
Rodgers
like
is
They
over,
only
like-
lost what 6 or 7 games since Mike McCarthy
That's
left.
the thing.
no, he's in the championship game 2
McCarthy
years in a
gets
row
talked
without
about
McCarthy.
as if I'm sorry. And I'm not trying to be McCarthy optimist or what have you, but my goodness, it's hard to hear sometimes. You would think he is freaking Steve Spagnuolo at head coach. You don't go to 6 championship games, win the Super Bowl, and you're some badass coach. Mike McCarthy essentially was Andy Reid
No, he good
with the
offensive
Super
coach.
Bowl.
No, he's a good.
He was
offensive
Andy
coach.
Reid in Philly with the Super Bowl. And then by the end of his tenure, it just was time to go.
Well, I need to show me, man. Serious. I'm sick of it. Like, show me then. Because what you put out with Mike Nolan and you lobbied for him, obviously. Well, I ain't gonna say obviously, but it looks like for sure because that dude should have been.
To.
And then you had a decent D coordinator that's sitting in the building that coached the 4-3 that don't get touched.
Did you see that shit? This is what I don't understand about the offseason last year. It was, and even the draft, if you want to be
Why
real.
didn't we touch Gus, man?
Well, Gus was already.
That's what I'm
he
saying. Like,
was
why
under.
don't you say, listen, man, you can't get no worse than this BS, right? We was worse in franchise history. Come on, man. Let's salvage what we got. Let's salvage it. No, we didn't. We stuck with Mike.
Why did we bring?
Who was Mike's boy? Mike McCarthy.
We also asked this that we don't like. It seems like we don't, as the staff, we don't like people going back and forth. Everybody got to get along and be best buddies and all that shit. That's not the way it happens. Sometimes you got to have somebody. It's okay to hire somebody that say you ain't my best friend. Because guess what? if you're my best friend, you might slack on that. Oh, I might not tell you this today because I feel like you're my friend. You should see that. But if you ain't my friend, you better make sure you're getting that dude on defense. All right. Yeah. Hey, you better shut the hell up and coach the. Oh, I got this.
Hey,
that's what makes great teams.
But you know what's crazy you saying about that, James? Bucky Brooks said that's what Quinn is. Quinn is that. I forget the term he used. He's the guy that if Mike McCarthy's not going to be the dude that has that voice, Quinn's going to tell him, hey, now listen, this is how we're doing it. I don't care. And Quinn and Mike McCarthy not friends. And I'm not saying he's going to say it to McCarthy, but he'll say it to his players or say it to his coaches or what have you. But can you imagine? I mean, I'm just speculating here. Somebody having a disagreement with Nolan or coming to Mike about Nolan. But guess what? That's my dog. You know, I understand. That's my guy.
You on to it. You
starting
to say it. You starting to say it. You starting to say it yourself.
And also, I will say that if he was a head coach and a defensive coordinator, it may have more pull when you're getting on your players too, because you was a head coach too.
That's another thing that he said. He brought that up. Like, I was a head coach, so I know how to. Well, Nolan was too, but Nolan was. I just think he was.
Nolan was whack as
shit.
Shit.
Strange hire. That was a strange hire.
He was soft in San Francisco. Remember when he was
strange to keep him?
San Francisco, wasn't he soft as hell?
He was so strange to keep him.
I thought it was strange.
Find out in the future.
He was soft.
I thought it was strange to bring in George Edwards too, because I'm like, what? George Edwards has been 4-3 forever. And we're bringing in Mike Nolan, who's been 3-4, and you talking about this 3-4 high. It was just a weird offseason. Then I'm like, okay,
that's why I don't trust him.
Let me find. Well, this I actually trust more than the shit they did last year because you got people that are cohesive. Dan Quinn
I don't know if they cohesive, man. I'm not buying it. I'm truly on wait
How
and
was
see.
the coaches who coached with Dan Quinn? Those coaches did not coach with the defensive coordinator. Like, you know what I'm saying? These coaches were with Dan Quinn. So
I'm not liking the smell of your defensive tackle coach or your defensive line coach having only 1 year professional coaching.
Let me tell you something. I like to smell better if they get better players.
Schuyler said that Quinn is going to be pretty much calling the defensive line front, you know. It's just that they got to have that position filled.
Well, see,
and I'm quite sure that Leon
no.
Lett still will be the position.
Yeah,
coach,
but
right?
that's like, this is the feeling I had when Kellen Moore was hired to be the quarterback coach for Dak. I thought it was the stupidest thing in the world. Because, see, it's difference between knowing X's and O's and knowing how to be a teacher. It's a big difference, man. Like, because you have to actually teach these guys technique. You got to build stuff sometimes into their game. And when you put a first timer into something that we got demolished on, I just don't feel good about that. I feel bad. I feel real bad about that. And then even though he's going to be calling the front, how it works is you are learning from your individual coach in that room. So Quinn he's not going to go down to the D line and start coaching them. He'll call the front.
Have that role.
You see what I'm saying? So you still dealing with almost a degree of this guy better be a natural. And sometimes there is the case. I do know that there's a case to where you the young up-and-coming stud and you cold at what you do. I just hope it was really identified and not none of that good old boy stuff that Dallas can do. We like him. We believe in him. I mean, he was an ex-British who came through an exchange program to get an inroads to become a coach. That's not the normal track of how you get an NFL job. You usually got to pay your dues. You're not in some program that opens up doors for you to coach, and then you end up being a linebacker coach, and then we're going to give you a chance to be the D. Man, no, not how we bled. We bled ugly from the D-line last year. That's where we want to put a rookie green-ass coach? I'm not buying it. And it's like,
we had one of the best defensive line coaches last year, Boston. What the hell did that defensive line do?
You said with who?
Jim Tom Sula.
Yeah, that was a veteran. That's what I'm saying.
And what did he do with the D-line?
Yeah, I mean, even worse. That's what I'm saying. So you had that type of performance with a veteran. You want something that's going to be even better with a rookie?
Listen,
I'm not buying it. I'm not excited about that.
Forget that. Bring me
That's
the
important.
Jimmies. No, the Jimmies and Joes are more important.
No, the Jimmys and Joes are more important. I agree, but just as important is the scheme you put around them too, and the
Sure.
guy that's gonna
The
motivate them
scheme is
guys,
Dan Quinn,
and them
who was-
guys that's
who
gonna
was
get them
ex-
boys' technique
see,
up.
see,
They
see.
really should have got my boy Tuck out of Dallas in there. I would have felt better about him.
See, got the experience at an all-time bad rush defense. Now we go with a guy who doesn't have that much experience, and we're still complaining. What we really should be complaining about is we don't
I'm
have
doubting.
the Jimmys and Joes.
It's not even complaining. It's
Doubting.
like, and I should be complaining, like you should too. Like, look how we got lied to.
I'll
we got
complain.
and then I'm gonna come into this off season like, oh yeah, we getting it right now. When I'm
No,
looking
you
at
don't-
a
you don't do that.
coach
We don't know if
with
we're getting it
1
right.
year of experience,
It's way too early for that. But you know what? I'm not
I
going
just can't get excited for that. I'm sorry. I'm gonna say wait and
I'm
see.
going to wait till we see what happens in regards
Wait
to
and see.
free agency and the draft. And then, okay, if you're going to give him Eli a nuke and Don Terry Poe, who don't care, and no Tristan Hill because he got hurt, and no McCoy because he got hurt, and I'm going to say, hey, you rookie coach him up. Oof, yeah, I'm going to be a little nervous, boss. But if you go
I'm
out there and get me
nervous as
some,
hell.
if you go out there and give me some dogs, I feel a little better about it. But it's still wait and see.
I would too, but I still, because to me, I'm being all the way honest, bro. I'm just being raw honest, man. We greatly messed up getting rid of the hot balls and everything, bro.
Oh, God.
That
Stop
no,
it.
I mean that. No, listen to me, bro. No, listen to me, bro. No, hear me out. I know
Stop
you
it,
don't
boy.
believe in the hot
No, I
balls
don't.
in the name, but I do. And I'm gonna tell you why. Because it was a self-led group. And that's what you want on your team. You want an identity. You
I
want
like the identity, but
that-
she fell off after 1 year.
the
No,
play.
see, I
No,
don't
and it wasn't
that.
after no 1 year. No, they
Yeah,
gave
well,
us about 2,
because it
3
was
good
after
years,
1
man.
year.
But my
Two,
point
3
is,
started
as
Martinez.
soon as Mike came in, it was decimated, and
No,
they
it
was
wasn't no
holding it.
damn Mike.
Yeah. Well, I ain't heard nothing
No,
about no hot balls because it looked like
Fell
it.
off in 2018 they was hot boy in it. 2019 they didn't do jack poo. That's why the hot boys went the hell away. So if you're gonna say and
No.
call a name, no. If you're gonna sit there and call a name hot boys and you're gonna live up to that rep, you got to do it every year. You can't start marketing and making T-shirts and having carrying cases and pack bags and all that dumb shit. And then
Nah,
you
I'm
ain't
with
on-
all of that because
Hey,
that
you
was
with
their
that,
identity.
Hot boys ain't do
Oh
shit.
my goodness,
It ain't
boss,
about
you
what
with the
they
hot
did.
boys, man.
Totally, all the
They
way.
didn't do nothing. They
Still
fell off
rocket.
after 1 year.
Yeah,
Oh.
but it's
Hey,
but it's
the
not
guy that
what
created the hot boys was
their
Taco.
identity.
Mike Nolan ain't killed that shit.
It was a self-made identity. So the good thing about having something like that, to even if it wasn't up to the standards, they was trying to lead each other. That's what I like. What's gonna happen now with no identity with this new ass coach?
I want them to be the Cowboys. That's all I want them to be. If they can be the Cowboys front four and this new coach, Dan Quinn, I don't care whoever else, Dan Quinn is going to be judged by this front four and what this defense is going to do. That's why we brought him in. So if he got a sidekick named Aiden from London or England, wherever he may be
Cheerio,
from,
mate.
that's cool. But long as he implement his
Does he have an
system and
accent?
coaches,
Yeah.
then we okay. Now,
he might
my
be-
thing
Oh,
is,
wait a
if
minute,
he can
though.
establish the Cowboys instead of the Hot Boys, that'll be cool. If he go out there and get the
I
pieces
like those
that he
names,
wants,
man.
the
Those names
interior,
are identities.
Oh,
It don't
what'd you
even
say?
it don't even
Boss.
necessarily got to be the hot boys. It could be a different. I don't care, but it's something about when you get in a group to buy into something that's
Was
What did they-
you
what did-
listen to
what
these
did
other no, law? I mean,
I
boss.
just wanna
You-
know-
You hear the other names of these teams that they're getting made? Was Seattle going out there making all kind of carrying cases of the Legion of Boom? I don't know. Let me go over there in Seattle and let me make sure and let me see if they was marketing like that because we went nutso with the gear.
everything is
food-
marketing in Dallas though.
Exactly. And guess what? They went to more of the marketing until really repping that name on that field. And guess what? It got decimated
That's-
that way. Not no Mike Nolan didn't come in and take it
Marcus.
away. You took it away yourselves because you didn't play the same type of defense and the same type of mentality because you didn't lose your coach in 2019. You had the same damn coach, but y'all wasn't playing hot boy like. So I don't want to hear the shit when you don't want to do it every day.
I mean, we just diff on that. And I'm gonna just tell you, I honestly, wholeheartedly believe in having an identity and having it to where you got guys that lead themselves. Like for instance, when
They didn't do it the next year.
yeah, they didn't do it the next year, but they don't shit on the other years in which they did do
They
it.
had
and
they do,
they
though.
had and they
One-
had a
you didn't
standard
have
to it, and
you
the
just had 1
standards,
year.
the standards of it was making plays. And that's what I liked about it. Because when I talked to Tank about it, he said, you don't get into the hot boys club until you at least get a sack. And it was standards to it. Now, did they live up to it? That's not what I'm debating. We debating on that's not the debate. The debate is having an identity, having something to say, hey, okay, man, we ride together.
Can I ask you a question?
I don't feel good about them not having an identity and a new coach.
That's why you bring in
with a rookie year coach.
If you start shutting people down, that's going to bring your own identity. I get what you're saying about having an identity with the Hot Boys. I get that. I felt that. I was feeling like they bonded.
But I still didn't get what is their identity. You keep saying the word identity. What was the Hot Boys' identity?
Yeah, what was it? Stopping the run?
Yeah, I mean,
wasn't stopping the run. Wasn't getting turnovers. Wasn't sacking the quarterback.
What was their identity? Was they had a standard for it, and they would say you had to get a certain amount of plays. I don't know the exact breakdown of it, but Tank actually talked about it because I saw him actually say, "Lee, you didn't qualify." So I should have, but at the same time, it's not the point.
Father and all of that good
but
stuff,
cool. I'm all the way for it. I'm all the way for it. I want them to bring it back.
What if they? So you're saying like a self-made identity?
Yes, I want a self-made identity, especially with a new coach, with a coach that
self-made, giving your own self a nickname.
No, I mean, no, like you right. Y'all gotta make plays. You gotta make plays to earn it. But like it's a lot of stuff that's about football, as we even saw today with Tyler, that's about motivation, like goals. It's sometimes even go down to like small stuff like that. Like,
can I ask you a question? Can I ask you a question? When Dallas had the Doomsday defense and there was the steel curtain and all that, did they name the Pittsburgh Steelers name themselves the steel curtain, or did the fans?
I don't know who named them.
The fans did. Okay,
I don't know.
They had Doomsday defense. It was the people. They was like, man, this defense is so nasty. We're naming it this. That's all I'm saying. I get what you're saying. Self-made, but people was seeing it from afar. Like, your defense is so nasty. We naming you this. Because y'all this nasty.
And
I get you identifying yourself with Hot Boys, but
what about this? Because it can have a negative effect too, boss, as you know. And I know this is y'all guy over there on the book. I understand it's your guy, Jalen Smith. But you can be real. My man's brand starting to overcome his play, in my opinion. The whole celebrating when you're down 30. The whole swiping when you make a tackle after not having a terrible game, or you're down 17 with 2 minutes left. The brand was becoming bigger. And that makes me nervous. The Hot Boy brand was becoming bigger than the play. We got so immersed with hot boy. But when you actually look at the play, they weren't elite in sacking. They weren't elite in causing turnovers. They weren't elite in stopping a run. They weren't really elite in anything to give yourself a name. I get having a self-made identity, but maybe there's a different way to lead. And maybe that's what needs to happen. We need to get somebody else in here. And I think it was going to be McCoy that can show you there is a different way to be a leader on this defensive line than having a hot boy brand mentality.
I'm with that, but I'm going to say this too. And this is what I said about Mike McCarthy looking like he might have some kryptonite to come to defense, because McCoy and Poe both came from Carolina. They both was ranked bottom on the defense and stopping the run. So that's almost like cheap seats again. It's like, stop picking names and pick.
You think that was McCarthy picking them, or was that the Joneses?
Well, I'm just saying under McCarthy, the pattern that I'm seeing is names without resumes. That's what I'm starting to see.
I can give you another.
When he had Clay Matthews,
I can give you a pattern of other dudes too.
There's one dogs over there, boss.
No, yeah, that's early. I'm talking about early, but then I'm not gonna go pick his best year. I'm gonna look at his most recent history.
I'm saying though, he had dogs on defense.
He did have dogs at a point, but I'm just saying, like, I'm not gonna co-sign McCoy and Poe when their track record the year before was close to dead last or dead last.
Nah, see, I totally disagree. McCoy and Poe individually were not bad players. The Carolina defense collectively was bad. There's a difference. DeMarcus Lawrence is not a bad player. The Dallas Cowboys defense collectively is bad at stopping the run. DeMarcus Lawrence is not.
Okay, did that middle get better or worse when he left?
I don't know what their defense is.
No, I'm talking about Poe. When Poe left.
Oh, no. Time out. 2020 Poe was awful. 2019 tape Poe, boss, you know this goddamn well. Go watch 2019 tape Poe. Poe was good. Go watch.
No, I did. And matter of fact, I said then that our Woods was a better player. I said it last year because he was.
You did. I do remember saying that. But
Yeah.
Coy, again, 2019 tape.
He stopped the run better.
Was not bad. I still think and that's bad in my opinion when Woods is your best defensive tackle.
Yeah. Right. I mean, he's somebody else that need new training. I'm being all the way honest with him. He need to call Tuck. We got good guys right out of here at DFW. Actually, I would say we got the best in DFW. Coach Tuck. He been on y'all show.
Let me give you another pattern with McCarthy.
Can we also say that once again, it's a lot of glitz and glamour in Dallas. Maybe you don't get the Tuck who listen.
Right.
Tuck don't be on camera.
Right.
Tuck don't talk about stuff. Tuck just does that work. Who's the guy that? And I'm not hating, but when you see the guy they work with, he's everywhere. He's on camera. He's on this. He's on that. And guess what? I'm not hating, but sometimes players put out videos just like when a player wants to look like he's good in the community. What does he do? He has a video and he goes out there passing out chickens. Okay? And he shows, hey, I'm passing out chickens. You see, I'm good in the community. Hey, he good in the community. He passed out chickens to all the people in the community. So you see the players that are working, maybe they don't go with a Tuck because it ain't glimmer and glitz. But when we see him with the other guy, it's all on TV. And what are the fans look and say? Damn, he working. He getting his work on, dog. But he may.
And that's why I like Tuck and I like Ronnie Braxton because they don't do heavy social media marketing. They stuff is word of mouth by reputation. That's how they grow. And then you want those types to be in your building because they're entrepreneurs with it too. That makes a big difference. See, when you think about it, when you're an entrepreneur trainer, you also got to be very concerned on liability, right? You got to be concerned with injury. So it's almost like asking somebody that can juggle 12 balls if they have balance. Of course they do. When you have to juggle all these different athletes and then turn them back over to the pro teams as better players, or you would not get another dollar, that person is going to do a whole better job than somebody that has even likely the facilities. You look at what he said that Ronnie Braxton had to do to even train him. He had to go partner with 13 North Texas facilities to be ready to schedule all these pro athletes at the drop of a dime. That is some major juggling to just give boys exponential training. So we do need to get out of those guys that's hype and get out of the guys that got real results like Tuck, real truth. That's the truth.
Let me ask you about the pattern because you talk about the pattern, and I also noticed the pattern last year when I was studying Mike McCarthy and specifically on defense.
Yeah.
How do you explain then 8 of his 13 seasons in Oakland, in Green Bay, their defenses were ranked in the top 10 in interception percentage, and 8 different times they were ranked in the top 10 in interceptions total, and 4 times in the top 5. So that's another pattern I can give you as well. I don't even know if that's all Mike McCarthy, but nonetheless, we can make these numbers jump.
No, you can't make numbers jump because that was actually a reach. Because what you did is you said defense and then jumped to interceptions on the secondary. So that means you need to be looking at the secondary.
No. That's what I'm talking about.
If you jump to the secondary,
I'm not done. Guess who was the secondary coach there? Joe Witt.
Coach Witt, yeah. And I told you earlier I didn't judge Witt like I judged Quinn because Witt has a solid resume career-wise when you look at the people that they brought in and they made into ballers. I did not judge Witt off that bad Atlanta season because he walked into a rookie and he walked out with one of his best cornerbacks gone, True Fun. So it's like, no, that's not the same type of talent level. So I'm not talking about one good year or I'm talking about I looked at these guys' careers. I tried as much as possible to look at the talent they was working with to make my judgment to say who I think is real or not.
So were you fair with Quinn when he went through his defenses suffered massive injuries for a year and a half? Massive. Did you go in and say, you know what? I'm gonna give him a question mark on that season because he lost Neal, he lost Deion Jones, he lost Campbell, he lost big time players on his defense.
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
I did. I really did.
So now you're talking
like
about,
I said, because I said in his 6 or 7 years with Atlanta, he had a top 10 defense once. Okay, so I gave him credit for that, and I gave him credit for those injuries because that's not fair to count that against him. But we also dealing with a long track record now, to where now if the Atlanta comeback was just an anomaly, then that'll be like, okay, well, you can't judge that. But when you become known for it, and you are considered a defensive coach, head coach or not, the buck stops with you as the head coach, especially when that's supposed to be your specialty. So I'm not over here just drinking the Kool-Aid on Quinn. I'm super on wait and see, and I'm on more so this looks bad so far on paper.
Hey,
but there have been times that we overperform paper too. 2014, we overperformed paper. On paper, we was average. On 2014,
let me put it all on one bow tie right here, Boss and Sky.
Yeah.
Although Quinn got all of the records for the most epic, losing the big time leagues and stuff like that.
Yeah.
We got on the other end, Mike McCarthy is known with all of the comebacks, right? So that counts for all of that. And you just lamented the fact that you like the Joe Witt hiring.
Yeah, I like Joe.
As it being that he is a great philosophy as it relates to training and educating and developing the secondary. That's one of the areas that we needed help at for many of years, right?
Yep.
So we got that. Now, Quinn, he is a good philosopher and teacher as it relates to the defensive front or the front seven. So now we got that. So all we need now is time. And I believe that Jerry Wayne Jones and Stephen Jones and everybody, they looked at the same situation and they said, okay, let's go ahead and bring him in. Let him develop his philosophy and scheme. Let him go out there and get his dog. Let him implement his system. We're going to be looking at the Senior Bowl in a few days, and we're going to see how he's going to pull a guy from there. We're going to be looking at the free agency. They're going to also look at the people that they already got. And if the Cowboys do these moves, then I'm going to be like, if they invest into the interior on their front, that's another move. And if they invest in the safety this year, that will be a whole nother move. And that Kool-Aid, Big Game James, Skywalker, hey, boss, I'm going to buy me a damn Cowboy cup tall. And I'm going to have me some blue Kool-Aid. I'm going to pour it in the cup. And I'll be like, dog, I'm drinking this Kool-Aid because now I'm seeing that they're making the necessary investments into the interior, and they made the necessary investment on the safety. I'm going to drink some Kool-Aid live on the air.
Let's put a bow on this.
I'll say this, Law, just keeping it 100 with you. It's going to have to take them making an investment into a talent, and I don't see them really doing that. Like, I think they need to actually overspend in free agent. No more bargaining, no more marshals, no more. Like, you got to go ahead and get your guy, the DT, because don't trust no rookie to come in here and do it. We know the history on that. That generally don't work.
Don't need no rookie. You got your two young cats right now.
Yeah, you got your two young cats there right now. Yeah,
a couple days on that, but you got your two young cats.
You got one going into year 3, one going into year 2 that played like he was already in year 2. So no, we do got those guys, and that did happen with Taco versus Lawrence, where we was asking for a war daddy, and the war daddy was already in the building. That's a very, very real scenario that could happen, to where we ask for DT, and you're right, they could be sitting right here already, just ready to hit that year 3, year 2 mark where they usually hit. But at the same time, I still need more commitment from that DT position, because if we see what I'm thinking we're going to see, I'm telling you what I think we go see.
In safety.
Yeah, I think we go see Xavier Woods.
Oh, okay.
All right. And y'all know I don't want that.
Don't bring that. We're going to talk another hour about that.
I'm just telling you. These are the signs that's going to tell me this is a Kool-Aid off season and they trying to get us drunk on it. Xavier Woods come back. If we don't make a solid acquisition at DT, and if they try to just sell us that McCoy is that guy, I'm going to say this is Kool-Aid off season. Because you're going to have to get a stud in here with that young coach.
We will know, boss, how much influence Dan Quinn has in free agency.
Yeah,
I don't think it's going to be the draft yet. I think it's going to be free agency because there's two glaring holes: defensive tackle and safety. I don't think they're going to get both of them. I wish they would. But if you can get one of them, I'll say, okay, maybe Dan Quinn has something.
Well,
but
we already
we don't
told
believe.
We're getting Keanu Neal.
Yeah, we don't.
We already said we're getting him.
Honestly,
we're getting Neal.
Yeah, I would hope so.
I'm about to say Neal makes sense.
But see, this is the deal,
but that's
man.
not the dude I want. I want a free safety. But Neal makes sense, though.
It's going to be Neal.
But
I pray to God it's him.
Yeah, I don't mind it. But nonetheless, what I wanted to get at was that we'll know what Dan Quinn would do. And let's hope that they carry the momentum, because I'm going to be real with y'all. There was a little bit of momentum last year in free agency, because we would have never signed a Gerald McCoy, guys. We've been trying to get Gerald McCoy for years. We were trying to get him. We would have never signed Everson Griffin. It didn't work out. But maybe we take that to the next step. Now, don't go get your aging guys who were decent and maybe had a little bit left in the tank, because when Everson left, he still was decent. Now go get you a Dalvin Tomlinson, dare I say, or one of those DTs that we like. We'll get you dare I say, a Marcus May, one of those safeties that we like, not Ha Clinton Dix, even though they don't even sign Ha Clinton Dix prior to last year. So hopefully, take that little shitty momentum that you had in regards to the guys you signed, because you weren't doing that previously, and go to the next level.
Yeah,
it's a wait and see approach with that too.
Yeah, well, if we ain't doing that, then guess what? I'm just going to be sitting here just like this.
We don't do that, then and then Quinn is going to be right where he was with Atlanta.
And we heard Tyler. We heard Tyler say earlier today, dog. He said if they pay you, they play you. Man, he said it, bro. We always knew that, but I mean, I'm gonna look at the free agency. Go tell me everything.
I'm with you. That's my thing. That's why I said I gotta wait. When people be like, "What you gonna do with the free agency?"
It ain't got nothing to do with the draft. It's the free agency. We already know what we're gonna do in the draft.
Yeah, we know we
need to see. If we see the same thing free agency, it's just gonna be the same old shit.
Yeah, bro. And see, what I'm not gonna do this year, I'm not gonna let them hype me. I'm not gonna let them. Yeah, I ain't gonna let them do it, bro. I'm not gonna let them come in with the.
We got Dan Quinn now, though.
Oh, we got Quinn. He's playing good under Quinn's system.
And Quinn,
well, he gonna go back.
Quinn.
Quinn can get this guy.
Xavier Woods is different now. No. Brown, he's coming around.
Hey man, you know what? Let's stop, because I'm gonna just start getting angry. So let's
breaking news. Cowboys signed Adrian Claiborne, former Dan Quinn, 7 sacks against the Cowboys, and the whole guy. Oh, he gets 7 sacks with the Cowboys.
Exactly.
No, I'm not buying it.
Exactly. That's what they're gonna do. That's what they're gonna do, dog. Yeah. They're gonna get somebody that I already know what the fuck. Excuse me.
I'll be honest though, James. Neal, I would welcome a Neal.
I'm cool with
too.
You.
I'll be like,
oh, Sky.
Right.
I don't have a problem with Neal, but I'm just saying that's what me and Boss talked about this, that they are instantly, when they got Quinn, we knew Quinn was going to say, oh, I got Neal. And all the Cowboys fans will be like, oh, shit. We doing something.
But it's an upgrade, though. It is upgrade, though.
That's the next step I'm talking about, though. If you go get a Neal, that's the next step. That's a way above a Ha Clinton Dix signing at a position that we needed. Y'all got timid. You know what they did last year with it? I'm gonna tip my toes in the water.
That's what I'm saying.
It's scary though, y'all. That's what I keep trying to tell you. Y'all stay scary.
But before they wasn't even. They was like, I ain't getting in the water.
No, that's true. They wasn't even putting their toe around the water.
The benefit of the doubt, the last 2 years where we actually saw, even when you got Robert Quinn. They never was going to go out and get a Robert Quinn any other time. So Randall Cobb, I'm giving them props the last 2 years. I'm seeing a little bit, but let me see you take your nuts and stick them all the way out and say, let's go. The chips are all in. F all y'all. We're trying to get a Super Bowl, so we're going to get this. If I don't see them nuts come out, I'm going to say, shut the F up, you're lying.
Yep. Basically, what he's saying, Dallas Cowboys will give me Justice Simmons.
Oh, yeah.
Go get Dalvin Thompson.
I don't even want Justice Simmons, man.
I know. I'm just playing.
Look, if the Giants say we want Thompson, I want the Cowboys to say, no, we want him. We want him over here. So we're going to outbid you.
Make me so happy, y'all.
I'm going to know you serious.
It's sad when we really just need a one tech.
We just need, dog. Just
stop
playing. Hashtag stop playing. You got 2 young 3-techs, fam, that can rotate with each other.
And you got a backup one tech that can help you. Get the one tech.
Get him.
I'll take the one tech over the
safety. They got to pay Dak.
I need both,
They got to go pay Dak Prescott. That's the main thing.
Number 1, give me DT. But number 2, follow that up with a safety, because, boss, as you know this, you play DB.
Yes.
In this scheme, it is vital You're going to be playing a lot of single high back there. You can't be playing single high back there with Xavier Woods. You play single high back there with Xavier Woods, get ready to get toasted.
And I looked up, I got 10 free agent safeties that's upgrades to us right now, bro.
All right, y'all. I'm getting sleepy.
All right, man. Yeah, let's wrap it up, man.
Yeah, let's go, man. Let's go. I know
I say we'll keep going, dog. Got to cut it off.
Sorry for the harsh ending, guys, but we got to get going.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You could take my box out. I'm sleepy.
we out, man. Great show tonight, man. Boss, obviously, as always, come through. We get the thing popping.
Oh, yeah, man. Always.
Make sure y'all rock out with us, Boss Cowboys, Law Nation, Skywalker Steel, Big Game James on all platforms. Make sure y'all hit them likes, subscribe, all that good stuff, man. We love y'all. Shout out to the mods. Peace.